and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video I wanted to do another story time sit down video with you guys because I find those to be easier than vlogging because, like I've said before, I don't really do anything different every day and it's hard to just pick up the camera and vlog the same crap that I pretty much do every single day, and I know it would get boring for me and for you, like I've said before. So I thought this would be more fun to do, and I find it easier to do because I have a beginning, end, and there's like a, you know, your climax. So I have a full story. Alright, so as you can tell from the title, we're going to talk about my labor and delivery story. And yes, I did have an 18-hour labor. So, like all stories, let's start from the beginning. My due date was April 4th, and I was 4 days past that due date. So for anyone who has been pregnant, for any woman who is going through pregnancy, you're in your last trimester, that last month, you know, you just really want to get over it, because at that point you're just tired of being pregnant, you're tired of carrying all this weight, and you're just ready to give birth, right, at that point. And if you haven't watched my first story time video I did, I talked about being pregnant in college. So with that being said, I'm still in college, right, and it's April 8th, and I'm like, I need to give birth now, and knowing that my finals are in 3 weeks, so I was super anxious. So it's April 8th, and it is, I think, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up, like, it was weird, like, I woke up, like, not startled, but like, when you just wake up, especially when you're pregnant, you're uncomfortable, and you're tossing and turning, and your back hurts, your leg hurts, just everything hurts at that point in your pregnancy. So I woke up, and immediately I was like, oh my gosh, I need to use the restroom. So I go and I do my business, I pee, I come back, and I come back and sit on the bed, and I'm just like, ow, it hurts. Like, I was like, are these contractions? But I didn't want to get too excited because the doctor was explaining to me, as you're getting closer to, you know, your due date, and when you start feeling contractions, you'll know these are it, if it's every 5 minutes for an hour. So the first one, I was like, okay, I feel it. Is this it? Is this what contractions feel like? Because I didn't even experience any Braxton Hicks at all during my pregnancy, so I was like, is this how it feels like? Like, I just wasn't sure. So I went back to bed, laid down, ow, again, and I felt it. I was like, okay. And then the third time, I was like, okay, I gotta pee again. And then when I went to the bathroom the second time, I saw a little bit of blood. So that's when I got concerned, and I woke up Bryson, and I told him, I think we're gonna have this baby. And he like woke up. I was like, oh my God, should we leave now? Should we leave now? I was like, we should wait an hour and we'll see. And I waited an hour, and every 5 minutes I was feeling pain, and it was like progressively becoming more and more painful. So that's when I knew, okay, this is it. I'm gonna have this baby. Like, I was so nervous, but I was like, okay. So I packed up everything. I made sure I had everything in my bag, my hospital bag. I had my insurance, my ID, you know, just everything that you need to bring with you to the hospital. And it just, like, the pain that I was feeling, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is what contractions feel like. Because they say they feel like your menstrual cramps, just like 10 times. But I don't know, I can't really like compare the menstrual cramps that I've had to contractions. So I don't know, it depends on you. But anyway, so we let his mom know, hey, we gotta take her to the hospital. We gotta go to the hospital, I'm having contractions and I'm bleeding, so we're definitely gonna go. And we get to his truck, and immediately as I sit down, I tell him, my water just broke. So with that being said, we're both like kind of freaking out, but like staying calm at the same time, if that makes sense. I was like, oh my God, I'm honestly wearing the wrong clothes, to be honest. I was wearing like they were maternity leggings, but I was like, why am I wearing leggings? Like, I should be wearing like a dress or something, you know, that's more flowy, right? But that, I mean, and that was crossing my mind like while all of this was happening. So we get in the car and we head over to the hospital and we park and everything, and I'm just feeling so uncomfortable because I feel like when I'm having those, you're having those contractions, you just feel like just feel like you're walking like a penguin and really like wide, like your legs feel really separated at that point because like you just feel so uncomfortable, you feel this pain down there and you just don't want to walk anymore. But I walked from the parking garage to the entrance of the hospital and we were checking in, and I'm like, I know this is necessary stuff, you have to go through security, which is pretty quick. You have to check in, and like these are all processed, but it's like it just feels like forever. Honestly, it just felt like forever. We get into the triage. Luckily we are the only ones there, so it was pretty quick. They called my name and of course they have to do their procedure. So I'm sitting in the chair, I'm gripping like the armrest, the arms of the chair, and she's like asking me, you know, her questions, like the protocol questions. When were you having these contractions? When did your water break? How long ago did your water break? All those necessary questions, like what's your name, blah blah blah, who's your doctor, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. Like I know she had to do that, but I was just like, this feels like forever. And then I'm gripping the chair, and like she can see how like how much pain I was in, and I don't know what my face looked like, but she was like typing like really fast, like let me get this girl out of here because she's about to like have this baby in my office. So once I'm done with her, then they finally called us in and we went into a room. I changed into my hospital gown and they checked me, like they did like this test where they checked into my vagina, like to see if my water actually broke. I guess like the paper would turn a distinct color to confirm that my water broke. And once she confirmed it and she checked how much I was dilated, I was like 4 centimeters. She's like, all right, so you're ready to have this baby. We're gonna transfer you up to the labor and delivery suite. And I was like, great, we're gonna have this baby. Now, before I get into this long haul of my labor, I honestly thought the labor process was gonna be like maybe 4, maybe 5 hours, not the 18 hours that I experienced. Like honestly, like they counted the labor process from the time that you felt your first contraction to the time that you gave birth. So honestly, I was in labor for 18 hours, and honestly I was like, this is not what I expected. 18 hours feeling all this pain. But luckily halfway the doctor came in and administered the epidural, which I had already agreed on doing before I went to the hospital. I knew that the labor and delivery process is it's a painful thing, and I, you know, give kudos to the women who go all natural and don't do epidural, because even with epidural it was like painful at times, but you still felt the pressure and everything and like the contractions, but it just wasn't as painful. And it gets a little blurry from like the moment that I got into the labor and delivery suites until I gave birth, because mind you, I was so tired. We got to the hospital at 3 in the morning and it's like now like 1 in the afternoon and nothing has happened. I'm still in labor and I'm still not dilated enough to 10 centimeters, so they can't really do much but wait. I was bouncing on a ball. I was like doing whatever I could to like speed up the process, but nothing was happening. Before I get into like the delivery part of this whole ordeal of my labor and delivery story, there was a scary point in my labor where I actually felt scared. Like, you know, when you're just like anxious and like you're nervous and you just want to have a safe and healthy delivery for your baby. There was a scary point in my labor, and it was when they couldn't hear Noah's heartbeat or his blood pressure, I think it was, but it was definitely they couldn't hear his heartbeat anymore. And they were like, okay, his heartbeat is getting really low, and then now we can't hear it. And then also my blood pressure and my heart rate were like starting to decrease as well. And they explained to me after everything that happened was that since my water broke, all the liquid and the fluid that's in there that's holding your baby up. You know, when your water breaks, obviously all of that comes out. So you're releasing all of that, and the pressure in your womb is slowly increasing on your baby because there isn't that liquid to like house the baby, if that makes sense. So the more and more liquid or fluid that I was losing, the more pressure was increasing inside my womb, and the more like it was shrinking, if that makes sense again. And they couldn't hear his heartbeat, and I had like the oxygen mask on for like the first time because my heart rate was decreasing and my blood pressure was, I think, decreasing as well. So they were getting kind of scared, and like my doctor came in, my midwife, a nurse, and like another nurse came in. So I was getting like scared, and so was Ryson. And I've never seen him scared before like that, like never in my life. So I knew this was like pretty, it was pretty serious, honestly. And so they had me turn like this way with my like legs open. They had me turn back, laying on my back. Then they had me turn it around this way towards the right. And then at one point they made me go on all fours. And like, of course, if you've ever been to hospital, the hospital gown doesn't protect your backside that well. So I'm over here on all fours with my like ass and like and like pretty much my whole bottom area exposed to like all of the hospital staff. It felt like, just in order for them to try and hear Noah's heartbeat. So finally they were able to hear his heartbeat. And I remember before they were able to hear Noah's heartbeat, the doctor said, if I don't hear his heartbeat in 30 seconds, we are gonna have to do an emergency C-section. And I promise you, that minute that I heard that, I like prayed and I was like, please Noah, please let them hear their heartbeat. They want to hear you, how strong you are. And I was like, I don't want to get a C-section because I know that recovery process is a lot longer than a vaginal birth. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do a C-section because I need to go back to school in like 3 weeks, and I need to go and take my test and just be done with school. Like, I can't do a C-section. And in like the next minute they were able to hear his heartbeat, and like we were all good. Once my vitals and Noah's vitals were normal and they were at the levels that the doctors and nurses wanted it to be, it was a couple hours later. It was around like 7:30 or something like that. And my nurse came in and she's like, do you feel any pressure? I was like, no, not really. And then she came back again to ask if I felt any pressure. And I was like, yeah, I think so, just a little bit. And she's like, why didn't you tell me earlier? I'm here to introduce you your new nurse because I am actually going home. And I think positively of nurses, so I think that they all want to be there for the delivery of their patient, you know, the one that they have, and, you know, not miss it, I guess, because that is their job. But anyways, the new nurse came in, and then my midwife came in, and she asked, you know, how about we try, she's like, you're like 9.5, 9, and why don't we try doing a practice push? So she counted, and I did the practice push, and she was like, oh, you're ready to go. And she said she wasn't prepared. She didn't have, like, I guess the tools that they needed for the delivery process. She was like, so and so, get this and that stat. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm ready to go. So she asked me again, like, try pushing and push again. So it was like a total of 27 minutes of actually pushing during my delivery process that Noah finally came out. So I spent pretty much 18 hours of my life just in pain, but those 18 hours were the best hours of my life because that was the beginning process of my son actually coming into this world. Although it had its scary moments, it had its happy moments of Noah finally being in this world and finally just being done with pregnancy, and that I spent these 9 months of my life developing this child, and to see him come out into the world, like, that's an amazing feeling. Honestly, amazing. I honestly wish that it wasn't that long, because I didn't eat probably for a whole day, like 24 hours, because probably the last time I ate was probably around 8, maybe 8:30, and then we went to bed, and then I had my first contractions at 2 in the morning, and then didn't give birth till like 7:30 later that day. So it was a very long day. I wish I could have eaten, but it is what it is. I didn't eat for 24 hours, and like I don't think I'm the only one that experienced that. Like, I'm sure other women go much longer without eating. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope it was in order. It seemed like I was like all over the place, but I tried to get my story from the beginning, the climax, and the end of this story. So just to summarize everything, I had my contractions at 2 in the morning. Then I had my scary moment in between, was in labor for a full 18 hours, pushed for 27 minutes, and then boom, my son came into this world. Again, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed my little story time. If I was all over the place, please let me know in the comments down below. And let me know, did you have an easy labor and delivery process? Was it short and sweet? Was it long and hard? Did it go as you expected? Did it not go as you expected? Did you get a C-section? Did you not? But that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. That was corny.